Hey, Jim Cam here, owner, founder, franchisor of multiple brands in Montreal, exceeding over 100 locations. And today, I'll talk about something that you might have felt in your heart for a very long time, because I did it too in the past. With over 20 years of working in the restaurant business, I've seen a lot of people that also had the urge to open their own restaurant. And also they went out and opened their own restaurant too. It's a natural process. Everybody working in that field, they will feel the urge that they want to be their own boss. They want to open their own business by themselves. So I'll talk to you about what is the actual process for you go from being an employee working for someone else and to opening and owning your own business, specifically in the restaurant field. I did it over 100 times, over 100 locations. Even though I didn't open it all by myself, I assisted all the process. And yes, you will be surprised. Into my portfolio brand, a lot of the franchisee used to work for me. So I saw the potential in them, and I also gave them the guidance, the knowledge, the steps for them to follow in order for them now to opening multiple locations. So this video is for you if you've been working in the restaurant business for years, but also you want to be transitioning to the next step. What will be the requirement necessary for you? And just keep watching. I'm gonna explain to you step by step how you can make that smooth transition. So where this feeling comes from. So yes, you've been working in the restaurant for maybe a few years. You think you're the best performing staff in the restaurant, the best chef. No, you think the next step for you is just financial part. So after you crack the financial part and also with your current skills, you can run a successful restaurant. But I'll tell you, this is not true. I'll explain why. It's very simple if you see it in the way that I'm gonna explain. There's 3 pillars, so not 2. So it's not only the skill set, and also the financial side. You need to have the structure and organization, the business. So this is actually the part that people are missing out. So they think they're the best staff, the best chef in the restaurant, and they just need the money to open their own restaurant, and they could run the business successfully. But that's not how it works. I've seen many people, let's say downtown St. Catherine, by example. You see a lot of great restaurant stores of any kind of opening, but also they close down within months. There's a lot of money invested, and the rent on those areas are not cheap. So what could it be the missing point? It's really the right structure, the right organization, and also the vision. So let's start with the first. So the skill set. Yes, if you want to run a successful business, you have to be a master in that business. So for sure, years of training, probably months, depending on the business. And after the skill set, you need to have the financial part. Could be easily done too. You can get a loan, you can borrow, you can have partners that can invest in you. Business structure, organization, and vision. This all come with experience. And it all comes with experience that it's not only related in the restaurant field. It might require leadership, other management, people management skills, accounting skills, marketing. So there's so many facets that you need to cover in order for you to have a successful business running smoothly. When you used to be working for someone else, you might be very good and skillful at doing what you do. But the moment that you gotta run your own business, you cannot be the running the show. You need to be able to find and also lead other people in order to take that place that you've been doing at the previous workshop, which means understanding how to manage and lead people. That's one main facet, but earlier, I talked about understanding the business. And also one of the key differences, the moment you gotta run your own store, and you have to understand where you will make the most money. So which sushi will make you the most money and not you making the most beautiful sushi. And also understanding the cost, controlling the flow of the business. So you make sure the product can be delivered on time and also at the highest quality possible. And combining all those, you have to be juggling around. It's hard. But this is the skill that you need to learn. Why I always use sushi as an example? Because I started as a sushi store owner. This is my first business. So we talk about people, which is the first facet. And also we talk about understanding the business. And now let's talk about finance. And by the way, when I talk about people, it's not only the staff that's been working for you, it's also your customer and why they will buy from you and what makes them keep coming back. And let's talk about the financing side now. The cost and also how you manage the flow of the money. And the financial side, it's actually the most important part. If there's no money, there's no business. So everything about business, it's money. Your goal, whatever you want, is gotta be personal on you, but the business can only run on money. So this is why it's so important. So let me cover that special facet. So if you want to start a business the way that I did, which I do not recommend, is I save up money through the years. It takes a lot of time, but also gave me the chance to learn about and also perfecting my skills, which is not great, by the way. And now there's a lot of more easy way. You can get financing loan, finding partners, investors. Inside of my portfolio, there's a lot of different franchisees. Some, they get a business loan, some they get investors, some they find partners, and some, like me, they just fronted the whole project in cash. There's no perfect way to do it. You really need to find what works best for you. And surprisingly, there's also a group of 4 kids. They just went in a couple months ago, and now they're opening their 3rd location. But what I mean by just taking your financial very seriously is, like I talked about in the beginning of this video, in business, you need 3 points. Let's say your skill set, financial, and also the vision and structure of the business. So when you're looking for partners, think of finding a partner that is on your weaker side. If you have the vision, the structure, and also the skills, you're just waiting for the financial part. So your ideal partner will be an investor. If you have the cash, if you have the vision, but you're only missing the workforce. So take a guess, which part of the business you're missing. No matter which path you choose to start your business, the most important one is control your costs, know your number. Why it's important? I'll take sushi by example. There's a lot of options that we have inside of the menu that barely makes profit, but we use it as a hook to attract the customers. And then we need to be able to sell the other choices in the menu that are actually very profitable. And depending on the kind of business, you need to understand upselling and leveraging each customer that comes in. You want them to come back more often too. And there's a lot of things, and all those knowledge, you don't even have to reinvent it yourself. It's available out there. McDonald's, the founder of the franchising, for me, they created the combo, which is perfect for upselling. People initially, they just came in for the burger itself. But I say, hey, there's not a lot of people buying the fries, so they wanted to sell the fries. So what they do, they created a combo. So you buy the burgers, you buy the fries, you get the drink free. Take a guess, which one makes more profits, the burger or the fries? The fries. So the important point is controlling your cost, controlling your sales, and controlling your profit. How can you control costs? Just make sure, like I did it myself, keep the rent as low as possible. We find places that all are mostly under $5,000 rent per month, and the concept runs efficiently. So labors are lower too, and we can basically increase the sales pretty much as we want because we work high quality product in a fast pace. And yes, I'm very serious every time that I say control your costs. Control the rent under a certain amount, which is $5,000 in my opinion. And also construction side. You're not here opening fancy restaurant or any business like Four Seasons, but what you want to do and also your priority when you're investing in business, you need to plan your ROI. So your return on investment. So the more money you invest upfront, the longer it's gonna take. And open a restaurant business, a lot of people will say, yes, it's risky, but is it 2025? Is it still that risky? With the world going so fast, AI coming in, a lot of industry are just crashing overnight. It's only risky when you don't control your costs. And one thing that AI cannot replace is food, true food. This is something that your body needs, that every living being needs. So yes, let's go back to the cost. You're planning to invest. For sure, you gotta be sacrificing your time, energy, and also your money. And the best way to lower the risk is to make sure that the return can be as fast as possible. And how to make it happen? Make it also as low as possible. That's why we have a lot of franchisees. They open so many locations in that short amount of years because the investment is lower than the rest of the competition and the return is also as fast. So that means a very quick return so they can reinvest and lower the risk. So the moment you take all your return on investment back, you're basically risk free. So that moment you can decide to keep living your life or keep reinvesting. If you crack the code once, you can do it twice. So that's what most people on their own umbrella do, is they just make sure they can have the return as fast as possible. They really like the business model. They just open a second one, a third one. Even some, like the founder of Onigiri, he even started his own brand that now we're collaborating. We're very good partners. This week, we're exceeding 20 locations. That's how quick it can be. So now let's talk about the last pillar, which is the vision. The structure, where you want to take your business. Why keep it for last? Because it's really the most complicated, even for me to explain it. But I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Yes, you have the skills. Yes, you have the money. But how do you grow your business? How do you maintain it? How do you even scale it? And how do you ensure your brand will survive a few years from now? I'll explain to you through my own experience. So I started with Sushi Sama, my very first brand, that I opened now 13 years ago. Why did I pick sushi? I just pinpoint a problem and also bring a solution to it. That's also mentioned in the previous video. So yes, sushi, people see it as something fancy, but I made it affordable and also accessible at the comfort of your own home. So yes, also it comes with a lot of problems. It is not a meal that people can enjoy every single day or afford it every day, but I still make it very affordable. The best price you can get at the comfort of your own home. If you think of it this way, if you want to eat something fancy at home, what are the other options other than sushi? You might never order pasta, not even a steak. This is something that you can make at home, but sushi, it's very hard. So it's basically a field that has no competition. If you want to order from a restaurant a fancy meal to eat at home, sushi is pretty much the only way to go. Okay, let's take Poke Station by example. I created it in a way to make it more accessible daily. So people, instead of picking something more fancy like sushi, they can have the same ingredient, which requires less labor to make it, so they can have it at a much better price, but still the same freshness as you can find in the sushi sama. So people can actually enjoy daily. So this is where I figured out a second problem: offering fresh, delicious, tasty, they can have access daily. So after Sushi Sama and Poke Station, let's talk about my newest concept, which is onigiri. Same thing. I focus on takeout and deliveries mainly. And what differentiates onigiri and the rest is I made it even more affordable, more accessible for the mass population. So if you jump into business, you need to target either the mass population or the top 1%. And both ways, you need to come with a solution to a problem. And I think a solution to a problem for the top 1% in the restaurant business is very hard. So better go with the mass population. That's why onigiri stands out. It's so tasty, so affordable, so accessible, and focusing on only natural ingredients. People can eat daily, weekly, and they never get tired of it. It's not some trend that comes and go. So we don't do some crazy twist that people, they don't even understand what it tasted. So it's very simple. We talk about the three main factors: your skill set, financing, and also the vision, the concept. So make sure you have those three in point in order to, before starting your own business. And also, one question that I get asked a lot: why choosing franchising instead of opening your own restaurant, your own proper brand? Yeah, it's because in the franchising side, those three systems is already in place. So first, the concept has been proven through the years and also over 100 locations. And secondly, we have a financial system that is also in place: business loan, banking, a lot of things that can be offered to you. And also the people solution. So we make sure you have the right training, you have the right guidance for you to also hire your own staff. As long as you're not an idiot, you're coachable, for sure you will be very successful. Peace out.